Hey there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome back to CNU On The Lawn, the best and only source of CNU student perspective from a couch every other week. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Wyatt. This week's episode is brought to you by the Grammys. We were supposed to be there, but we were busy planning the show. No hate to Kendrick, but AJ and Big Justice got robbed. We Bring the Boom should have won Best Song of the Year.
So true. You know. We have two special guests this episode, the intrepid leaders of the Marching Captains, two very bright students and exemplary captains, Patrick Wood and Caitlin Cockrell.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Do you want? No.
Please,
okay.
please,
sorry. So, how long have you both been members of the Marching Captains and then leaders as well?
So, I've been a marching captain for 4 years now. I've been here since I was a freshman. I've been a leader this year, and last year I was a rank leader.
Nice.
And I've been in the marching band for 3 years. I was a drum major started my sophomore year. I'm my junior year, so 2 years.
What made you guys want to join the band?
So I always loved band. I've been in band since 6th grade, which is a scary amount of time. And I loved marching band since high school. So even before I knew where I wanted to go to college, I knew that I was going to be in the marching band of whatever college I went to. So the Marching Captains was actually a huge draw for me for wanting to come to CNU.
Yeah, same here. I've been in band for a really long time. I've been in marching band since my freshman year of high school. It's been a really big part of my life. And it's also where I've found a lot of friendships and stuff like that. And I came here. That was something that I wanted to be involved in, and definitely was also a draw for me to come here.
So it sounds like you guys have a lot of deep, rich memories from being in the band. Yeah. What has been your guys' favorite memories? Just let's talk specifically from CNU, but then you can maybe sprinkle in some high school and middle school stuff if that's, if you have to talk about it.
Sure. I mean, I always think there are so many bits and things that the different sections do that I think is really interesting. I know two of our tenor quads, our tenor drums, they would crack me up just in practice or whatever. They'd be doing goofy dances, they'd be doing all kinds of stuff. So I think the people and their routines, or even I don't know, the mellophones bring a giant pickle every single, it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a gallon jar of pickles on the bus for every competition that we go to. So we go to high school competitions to perform while they are tallying the scores for all the high school bands to go, and we say it's for outreach and trying to recruit. It's so we can show off. And it is honestly the exhibition performances are my favorite part, because when you're in high school, your whole job in the marching band is to perform competitively. So you have to be really focused on, technique, being absolutely perfect. But in the Marching Captains, we don't compete, so we just entertain, and our job is to go have fun. Because when we have fun, the audience has fun. And we go to these band competitions where we're in a stadium with maybe 2,000 high school kids who think we are the coolest people in the world. And in marching band, that's not really an experience you get at a football game.
Right, yeah.
I don't think I've been to a single football game where I've heard somebody cheer, yay, mellophones.
I know when I was in middle school, they made you take band for a year. And so I had to pick an instrument. And so obviously someone who's not musically inclined, I picked the trombone specifically so that I could follow my brother around and just go wah, wah, wah all day. What specifically drew you guys into music and to band in those early years?
I think for me, there was something about it from the beginning in third grade playing the recorder. I know that's an experience a lot of people had. I remember being the annoying kid that a lot of people hated because me and like two other people, we would practice our recorders during recess when nobody wanted to hear anybody play recorder.
Yeah.
And there were 3 of us. We thought we sounded so good. We did not.
You were killing hot cross buns.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about you?
So I'm trying to think. So like back in middle school, when I was like graduating from elementary school and I was going into middle school, I knew our middle school band director was like everyone was talking about like the different things and of like you could be in choir, you could be in strings, you could be whatever. And he was the best out of all of them, and we had heard that from so many people. Actually, so much so that our choir and orchestras were not very big in middle school. So that's what drew me to band in general. But I came from a like musical family. My dad plays still, and he almost was a music major when he went to college. He switched. But so yeah, that's always been a big part of my life.
So are you both? What majors are you guys? Is band full of music majors, or is that a common misconception? Tell us a little bit about that.
So I am a computer science major.
And I'm a psychology major.
Oh wow.
Oh.
So there's like a solid core of music majors in band, but it's probably only 20, 25
Yeah, I would say
people.
most are not.
Yeah, most people are there because they want to be there and they just want to play an instrument. I know for me, I thought about being a music major for a while, but I ultimately decided that I would have more fun with computer science because I like that kind of problem solving, which you don't really get in music, which is part of why I love being in the marching captains so much, because it still gives me that outlet to continue this thing that I love so much when I haven't decided to major in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As for, I know you guys mentioned earlier that the marching band was part of the draw for coming to CNU. What else was part of that draw? Why you chose CNU?
Do you want me? Cool. So, sorry. So I definitely really wanted to come to a smaller school. That was a big draw for me. I am somebody who, it doesn't necessarily work well in that kind of like bigger atmosphere with all those different kinds of people. I am more introverted. I tend to be shyer, kind of ironic being a drum major, but and so that was a big draw for me. And they also had a great psychology program, so that was great. Had a marching band. I also really liked the idea behind CNU of kindness and like choosing to help others, and I liked that aspect of CNU's advertising.
I have a hard time pinpointing like one specific thing. The reason that I ended up choosing CNU was it got down to kind of the last minute. I was deciding between here and JMU, and I realized 2 things the week before the deadline to make a decision. I think this would have been the last week in April. One, I realized that I had CNU's fight song stuck in my head since January, and I did not know JMU's fight song. And 2, I realized that as I had been thinking about what my life would be like in college, imagining going to classes, meeting friends, hanging out on a great lawn, I was imagining CNU. I wasn't imagining anywhere else.
That's awesome. That's a great. That's
and
a,
3, JMU has way too many hills.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
So marching band is a big involvement, I can only assume. How is that when it comes to other classes, other clubs on campus, other involvements? Like, how do you guys balance that? What does that look like for you guys?
During the week, it's incredibly manageable. It's set up just like another class. We meet Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sometimes you only get like 10 minutes to rush between a class, but that's the hardest scheduling thing I've ever had to deal with. In the fall, it's a bit more of a commitment because you lose some of your Saturdays, and I know that's difficult sometimes, but not. It's nothing insurmountable. The most that I've ever had to miss is like a CNU night show.
Yeah, I would say it's not too bad when it comes to class read. The class is 2 hours long, so there is that. It is about 2 hours long. But I mean, that's every music class I feel like is about that long. correct? No? Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think it's about that long for other music classes too, so it's not like out of the norm. And then yeah, Saturdays are a little crazy. I usually just try to take lighter semesters. Fall semesters are my light loads, and then I will take more classes in the spring, and then just try to get all of my assignments that are due on Saturday done before we have game stuff.
I also feel like even though the class is 2 hours long, for me, it never feels
No,
like it
it
is
doesn't
2
really.
hours long. It's because it's marching band. It doesn't feel like a class. I'm not sitting down in a classroom. I'm playing music and marching with my friends, or this year conducting.
Right.
So,
Awesome. Now, you guys went on a huge trip over winter break.
Yes,
Talk a little bit
we
about the
did.
London trip and the excitement there and kind of what you guys did.
So it was very fun. As with most band trips I have been on, it was a week-long vacation with a music thing in there to justify it as a band trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The parade itself was really fun. It was tough. I know President Kelly, when he was here, he talked about the difficult conditions the day of the parade and how it rained just that day.
Yeah.
And it was pretty rough. We had our brand new uniforms
Yep,
there.
our brand new uniforms soaked.
It rained and then it was windy, and it was London cold.
Yeah.
So I felt like for a bit before the parade started, we were walking around trying to keep people from tearing each other apart.
Right. We're trying to be like, whoa, yay!
Yeah, try and sort of keep morale up a little bit.
Yeah.
But then once the parade actually started, it definitely was a whole lot cooler.
Yes, I think people had fun there. It was interesting because you'd think that the heavy uniforms would help because they normally do with the cold, but with them soaking wet, it was not it was not as helpful as you would want. But it was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it was
the rest of the trip was a fantastic
Yes,
experience. We got to we did a lot of sightseeing by bus.
We did, yeah.
So we drove around London a lot, which was great because that meant that we weren't cold. And we had tour guides on all of the buses to talk about sort of the stuff that we were seeing. They also share our disdain for George III, though not for the same reason, which is interesting. A fun fact that was repeated to us multiple times. So George III, the guy who was king when the colonies became America, he has a statue, and there's this square near Parliament where they have the statues of these really important, famous British people. George III is not there. He is up the street towards Piccadilly Circus on this corner, surrounded by trees, so you can't really see him, overlooking the bikes. They loved to point that out because they also don't like him.
That's wild. That's pretty good.
The guy who was there that surprised me, Abraham
Yeah.
Lincoln.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Notable,
He's a hero across the globe, it sounds like.
notable
Yeah.
famous Englishman, Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ooh, sorry, I totally lost my thought.
You're
What
good.
Do you?
Conducting
Oh my
segment?
gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh. So
Conducting segment?
you guys conduct.
Yes.
We are total novices to most things music. I don't
pretty much
even know how to
everything
play an
band
instrument. I think Wyatt knows a little bit of how to play an instrument, but we would love to
You're
learn
giving
a
too
little
much
bit of
credit.
conducting.
Sure.
Maybe is this a teachable skill? Is this
Yes.
something?
Oh, 100%.
Okay,
100%.
Okay,
There
okay,
is-
great.
There is a myth believed by some that you aren't doing anything. That it is
Yeah,
not
I was
actually.
told. I was told about this. Yeah.
We would like for you to correct that myth and teach
Okay.
us
Okay.
what actually
All right.
what it means.
What it means.
What is conducting?
What is
Explain it a little
conducting?
bit. You know.
Okay.
Justify it
Patrick's
as
I'm ready.
Yeah.
So for context, Andrew and I have had this argument many times before. So conducting, it does differ between a concert setting and a marching setting. In a concert setting, you have to have a little bit more fun with it. In a marching setting, the main thing that you are doing is you are conveying to the band time, and then secondary to that, style.
Okay.
So you're conveying them the time in the sense of, gosh, there's so much.
The actual.
Give us
Yeah.
the dummies
Yeah, the
can
TLDR.
conduct. Yeah.
All right. So you have the point.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to be fancy, you can call it an ictus.
Yeah, I was going to
An
say it's the
ictus.
ictus.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely call it the ictus.
Yeah.
I believe that is just Latin for point.
Okay,
But
great.
I could be wrong.
So we start
Fancy.
here.
Yes.
Great.
And if you're doing two hands, you would be here.
Oh, okay.
But we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah,
This is just-
we'll-
That's
yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
That's a lot.
Okay, yeah. Let's just do
It's
one
just,
hand.
it's just
Okay.
like theory for right now.
Yeah, yeah, great.
And then the basic form is sort of a downwards arrow.
Okay.
So you have 1,
One. Okay.
2. Is you go in
In.
and then back down.
Okay.
Okay.
3 is out and then back down.
Interesting.
And then 4 is up and back down again.
Okay.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1,
Left, right, up,
yeah.
down, left, right.
Am I
Yeah.
off?
down.
I think I got it.
So-
Oh no, I screwed it up.
What you're
Okay.
doing here is every time you're returning to level and you're bouncing, that is a beat.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of musicians have internal metronomes in their heads.
Yes.
Like one of my close friends, the horn section leader, Hannah, she's a music major and a very good horn player. She has an internal metronome in her head that she's keeping time with, and she references the conductor and the center snare player to keep time with those two people. But she's just referencing them. She's not necessarily always keeping her eyes glued on one of us because she's got to be able to read her music.
So it's like a failsafe. It's like you guys are there to make sure everything happens and nobody gets totally off time.
It's
Mostly. I
Is
mean,
the
there's some
time-
style stuff for sure
Are
in
you,
there. Yeah.
Is the time also signaling when to do the steps and to like walk around? Because that's the part. The marching.
That seems
Yes.
very
That
complicated.
seems
Yes.
very complicated to remember
yeah.
where to walk.
Yes.
For march.
Oh, but it seems like a
comes
lot of practice,
memory,
right?
Usually,
Yeah.
you rehearse it so much that usually it just like they know where in the music they are and where that means they need to go.
Yes.
So they just they know where to.
Well, because that's like 6 hours a week for what, like 13?
yeah,
Not 13.
and then there's
yeah,
also
but lots of
band
weeks.
camp, which
Yeah.
is so
Oh.
fun. That's
Which
how
is
long
even
a
more
day?
time.
Yeah, it's
so
like 8
from
hours?
start to finish, it's 12 hours a
12
day,
hours.
but with breaks,
it has
works out to be an
lunch and
8-hour
dinner
day.
break.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
So that's some of the theory behind conducting.
that's awesome.
Do you want to actually like learn?
Let's do a little bit. Yeah, let's do
Okay,
something
we
real
gotta-
short.
we gotta
Oh, we gotta stand up?
I don't know
Okay.
this.
Well, in my
I don't. Oh,
Oh, no,
All right,
we
all right.
can see it. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's
so,
do something. Yeah.
Step 1, you got to find your table, right?
I
What
was
does
gonna
that
say
even-
step 1 is your feet
Okay,
There's
placement.
actually,
some
that's
controversy
Sorry.
This is why
Step
Caitlin
one
is
is
also
your-
here.
Okay, great.
Your feet are shoulder width apart.
Okay.
Okay.
You're standing straight
Great.
up. You're confident.
Confident.
You're ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then we're gonna start at the
Step
table.
2 is find your table. So
Okay.
close your eyes.
Oh.
And then just put your hands out and imagine you're resting them on a table in front of you. If you were sitting down at a table. Or standing up, don't worry about that.
Standing up at a
Standing up at a table.
No, sitting.
Sitting at a
Sitting
table.
down, but I'm
But I'm
standing
standing.
up.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay,
Not
that's complicated, but I'll figure it out.
This is, roughly speaking, the level that you want your hands to be at.
Am I allowed to open my eyes?
Yes, sorry. I was gonna tell you.
Yes.
I was gonna tell
Nobody
you.
told me I could
And
reopen
then
my
Patrick was
eyes.
talking, and then I was like, I'm just gonna let him go.
Yeah. So this is roughly speaking where you
This is-
want
yeah.
the level.
Okay.
So earlier when we were just with one hand,
Yeah.
that's this level.
Okay.
All right,
So
let's
this-
work on. Sorry, continue your thought.
I was gonna keep going. What do you want?
Okay, cool. So I was gonna say another thing is making sure your arm placement. So you don't want to have your arms all the way back.
So many
it's like
steps.
T-Rex
There
arms.
are. There
You
are
don't
so
want
many steps.
way up here. Depending on the style, some
There's
people
like
do
a-
conduct with
yeah.
a more outreach, but you want them not exactly 90 degrees, a little bit farther than that,
Okay.
if that makes
Yeah.
sense. A little bit
Yeah.
out more.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
You also-
the same thing we practiced earlier,
Yeah.
except we're gonna mirror it, so with both hands.
Right.
So
This
it's
is-
up
I'm so sorry. I
and
was
then
gonna,
in.
yeah, I was gonna say hand too. You could.
Oh.
You want your hand like your hand should look. You want to pretend like you're gonna shake somebody's hand. Flip it over. That's your conducting hand.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Now go
Okay.
ahead.
Right.
Sorry.
So up and then back down.
Yep.
In and then back down. Out and then back down.
Okay. Don't hit
And
me.
then, and then up and then back down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is why you guys have so much space, so you don't hit each other.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, like what is it? 25 yards of space?
I know. Yeah. We have
wow.
we have a lot of
Okay.
Yeah. So it's up,
Yeah.
in, out, up, and then it
And then
repeats.
reset. Okay.
Yeah, and then in
Man.
time it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
I didn't have
Andrew,
to.
you're
I
losing
got a little bit off.
That's okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. Yeah, and thank
Great.
you guys for coming on. Do you want to do the outro?
I mean, let's do it together, all four of us.
Okay.
Cool.
We'll be-
Yeah.
And
We'll be seeing you on the lawn.
Ooh. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's the name of the show.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. We'll be seeing you on the lawn.
Okay. And then
Great.
we walk off set.
Yeah, we have to walk off so that they don't see us.
Yeah.